First match here in Group B, we have one of them, well, I was about to say older decks, but it's not really true. Well, the recent deck here in the upper part being from 2016, so that's Synchro Fusionist. It's a deck that we in the TCG, I'm not so sure, but I don't think we were able to play the deck at, first of all, at full force, you know, with 3 Omega and Level Eater and stuff like that. The deck lists in a few moments, but on the other hand, we have windups, Shocklock, so windups post the first Banlist, right? We're having access to only one Zen Mighty, but having access to, you know, a Shockmaster. Multiple Tour Guide, you know, speaks for itself. And this is the Synchro Fusionist build. Short set, straightforward. The fact that you're able to use Fusionist itself for a Synchro Summon, you can search a fusion card, so that includes Instant Fusion, Brilliant Fusion, and what is it, the Premature, the card far right, bottom right. You can basically reborn Norden, and for Synchro Summon, you can search a fusion card, so that includes Instant Fusion, Brilliant Fusion, and what is it, the Premature, the card far right, bottom right. You can basically reborn Norden, and as you know, like Norden itself is also, well, again, you know, not once per turn, right? So, okay, well, let's take a look. So windups goes first, and I could kind of agree with the people, right, when windups, especially windups when going first, if they're able to put up Shockmaster, like Shockmaster calling monster effects, then it's very hard for this particular deck to win, basically. So, I need stuff like Mexi, and even then, I guess, you know, you can, well, maybe post side deck stuff like Raigeki is there, so I'm not so sure if you really want to commit into Mexi. Anyway. So going second, the deck is kind of weaker going second because obviously the deck is full gas, full. Basically as, well, Synchro Turbo, right, going for Hyper Librarian and having access to multiple formula synchrons, Level Eater, a super old school card. You remember Level Eater? What is it? Whenever it's in the graveyard, it's not once per turn. You can target like a monster on your side of the field with at least 5 levels or higher, and then it will reborn itself, and then it will lower the level of that monster by 1. So it's basically infinite monster reborn, you know, infinite level 1s on the field. A couple of gimmicks of the deck. Of course, you're going for Hyper Librarian, Trishula. There is a way to fully hand loop your opponent. You'll see it in a few moments, but going second, you play it a little bit differently. Baccia is there because to potentially reborn something. You know, Baccia itself, what is it, needs a worm type, and that's why the Yadzi is there as a worm type. Might seem strange, but you know, you'll see the Baccia interaction in a few moments. Plus Baccia is of course disruption as well, to bounce away one card. That could come up. Tatsunoko is again important to do. Did I make a miscalculation here? I'm not so sure. Anyway, Tatsunoko is important to, you know, Synchro Summon and then use your Synchro Fusionist from the hand, for example. Basically free Synchros. Omega in the graveyard, that's fine, you can just, you know, recycle stuff. Long story short, get out a couple.
Get more for your business with Microsoft 365. Stay connected with customers and securely.
Long story short, get out a couple of synchros and then go for a game. Okay, so now again we're going second, and this hand, no hand traps, even though I did side deck, I think, has been a while. I think the Mexis, yeah, I think so. But again, I was about to say, if they're able to go for Shockmaster, it's basically game over. Doppel Warrior as a one-off. The higher level, what is it? Is it a Earth? Is it a Rock? Not so sure. The high level one. It can basically special summon itself, as you know, this one, Power Giant. Yeah, Rock Earth. Basically, you know, a big monster for Synchro Fall. But, I mean, Shockmaster calling monster effects, there is nothing really I can do. I can't do anything. Basically, Giga Brilliant, I think one of their exceeds is getting ogred, and that's just going to prolong the duel a couple of seconds, I guess. Yeah, even, I mean, just in case, maybe Raigeki top deck or, you know, the board wipe, but teleport to I guess stall it out a little bit, get another draw off of Frankenderp. It's a card that what was it? You saw it recently, well, recently in Dark World, right? Dark World FTK. So, no victory, obviously. But now the table has changed. So going first, and the deck is ludicrous going first. And as I mentioned before, you are able to loop your opponent's entire hand. So let's see, we go for Happy Librarian first, and then, get a couple of draws, but most importantly, for this particular deck are the level 1 tuners. You aren't playing that many. Bulb is one, Jet Synchron is one, and the book, the Recover, yeah. They're searchable, etc. So a couple of draws, Tatsunoko again for those extra draws. We do have the Synchro Fusionist, Fusionist. Already had, you can search Brilliant Fusion, insane, for the extra normal summon. We go for Trish. I think we used... What was the other discard? I think another Omega, right? I think so. So go for Yazi. Teleport for Recover. Again, the level 1 level 1 tuners are super important. So Baksha for another draw. We tribute Trishla, I think. Let me see. No, indeed. We are going to use Trish for a Synchro Summon for Omega. And I think, am I going to put the Omega on my field? Yeah, indeed, in the graveyard. So now it's basically a Pot of Avarice-alike effect. So really cool, right? These interactions, use the Omega in graveyard, Selbek and Trish. Basically looping more cards from your opponent's hand. And this is basically the full hand loop. Insane, right? Like you're able, or the deck being able to refuel the same Trishula and using Omega basically 3 times. Insane. Like here in this case, sure, like 2 Omega will return to the field, but the third one will just, put itself in the graveyard, but again, it can just recycle itself, Pot of Avarice, a couple of Synchros back, so you can start playing again. Go for Axel Synchron again, basically a level 5 Synchro. Potentially another Omega, I guess. Level Eater, Frankenderp, yips. I don't think this is game. I think I could have gone for game. I think so. But again, not taking any chances. You could, go for the free effect and take some of your banished cards back to your graveyard. But doesn't really matter, right? You're sitting on multiple Omegas and they can't do anything. That's, what it was, right? This is a deck from 2016. Stuff like Ash wasn't released yet. This is a huge bummer. We do have Maxi, but sadly they go for like Stun, Fisher, Thunder King, which are 2 important cards against this deck. So it's a slow, grindy-ish duel. So we need to stall it out. There is 3 Typhoons, so we need to top deck. We go for Frankenderp and we connect. Okay, so we sacrifice our next draw phase and add the revealed card to the hand. And let's see if there's any form of interruption. We do have Soul Charge, but I do lack tuners, I think. Yeah, we're searching Instant Fusion. Axel is getting bounced, so now I don't have any tuner. So I need to follow it up with Norden, and Norden is getting Veilered. And this pre-links, pre-exceeds, this looks funny. I'm passing with 4 monsters on field. That's how it was back in the day, right? So super unfortunate, right? Like not being able to keep tuners on field and go for the Synchro Summon, even after a Soul Charge. So this is basically the nail in the coffin, like Thunder King preventing searches, and of course whenever I go for a big Synchro Summon, Thunder King will just tribute itself, so nope. Okay, game number 5. Go for Upstart, and this hand is much better. Luckily no Veiler, but we see, luckily no Maxi, but we see Veiler, and this replay was insane. So we go for Instant Fusion for Norden, no hand trap still, we reborn Synchro Fusionist, and this 1 for mono is kinda sick, Bulb for free tuners. And Librarian gets Veilered, and I was like, oof, because I need those draws. But we see an out, we see an option. You'll see in a few moments. So go for the extra normal summon eventually, go for Yazi. I think we still have Bulb, yep, so we go for Baksha. Baksha to bounce away our own Librarian. And then eventually Baksha will, reborn something thanks to Level Eater as well. Baksha turning itself into level 7 could be important for like an Omega play. Norden is also not once per turn, so Norden can also be reborn off of Baksha. We are still not able to go for Librarian just yet, we need more tuners, there it is. So finally you can start, and these 2 draws are super important. Formula Synchron, well, more draws, I guess. Formula Synchron Librarian and then Tatsunoko. Yeah, because of Level Eater. So that's basically 3 to 4 draws. I mean, that's a lot, right? To draw into fuel. This deck is full gas. This deck is full fuel. And now it's basically the same place as we've seen before. And to draw Soul Charge as well. So I think we need more free space. We do that by going for a couple of Omegas. Basically the same play as you've seen before. Yep, so there is another Omega. And then we should be able to go for Soul Charge. Yep, one card left, so that should just be a Trish, I guess. Reborn Bacha could be important to reborn something, also not once per turn. Or what is it, once per copy, I guess, on field? I think so. Should we check that? Anyway, so Trish, a couple of draws. Oh, Fusionist itself is also not once per turn. So you can search a Premature Burial, right? Yeah, indeed, Bacha not once per turn. You can Reborn for Norden, get a couple of draws, right? Ancient Fairy Dragon. I don't think it matters too much. The most important is that don't give your opponent the chance to play the game. It is what it is. So basically the same as before. 1 Omega to recycle Trish. Get rid of Hunk. I think we know all the cards, right? Because they were banished. Do we have 1 tuner? Yeah, the Resonator. Go for Trish. The same Trish, guys. Yep, this deck is so sick. It's really fun, actually. The Fusionist and searching Brilliant Fusion, Instant Fusion. Again, not once per turn. It's kind of sick. Reborn Norden, another monster reborn. Oh no, Seraphinite. Yeah. Okay, so 3-2. Even though the models of the public voted for Shocklock windups, if Shockmaster hits the field going first, yeah, obviously windups has that one. It is what it is. Next one, we have Hero Beat. The decklist has been updated to a decklist from 2012, Long Beach. It's going to take on Trooper Monarch, so old school Monarch's first place worlds back in 2007. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.
Leave us, G. Love you down to the bone.
With Swiffer Duster, you get a clean, even mama bruise up.
That reach.
Swiffer, love it or your money back.
Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. Next match, Cross Banlist Cup. So second match here in Group E, so the second match in total from the bottom half, the more quote-unquote broken half. Previously we saw that Liverlisk Bird Up Tri-Brigade won, due to the wind barrier statue against Yubel Fiendsmith. So definitely one of the title candidates, looking at Yubel Fiendsmith, the deck is still in, right? But, I mean, the one loss does hurt a little bit. So the next one, we have two more, less broken decks compared to the previous two. We have Eldritch Synchro COVID format, 2020, so awkward format where, there weren't any real life events. A lot of powerful cards, 1.5 card combo. Well, Helki is full combo basically. As you know, while the other deck, Joshua Smith's, when was it, YCS Pro Axe list back in 2017? Again, a lot of power spells, grass looks greener, Card of the Mice, and so on, right? So I could agree with the people that the more recent deck here, in this case, the Synchro Eldritch deck, has like a slight advantage over the, I was about to say trap heavy deck, but both traps are trap heavy oriented. But Paleo, well, Paleo as a deck definitely wants to go first. If not, sure, you have stuff like Grass, Desires, Card of the Mice to get you there, more cards basically. But due to momentum, etc., I feel that if you take a look at both decks, Paleo definitely wants to go first. Anyway, so, well, Helki, no, it has been a while. When was Helki banned? I can't remember. Should recheck that, but I mean, as soon as this deck has access to a tuner, basically Helki, again, you can go for full combo, which is like, what was it, 3-4 draws off of Hyper Librarian, right? And end on an Omni Negation, plus of course Interruption, Disruption with your traps. 2 power spells are getting negated, and because of this, Paleo again loses momentum. They don't have a level 2 on the field. Swap could get them there, already preemptively get another level 2 on the field to potentially threaten your opponent with the Frog. Totally awesome. But yeah, against this, especially after, what was it, 3 or 4 draws plus Omni Negation, that's hard for Paleo. That's really hard. Basically, for every deck, right? That Paleo, what is it? Get something from your banished pile back to the graveyard, right? The Bagjack is cool, but it's not going to save you. Sure, a Paleo as a chopping block, that's not how you want to play with Paleo, but as a last resort, if you want to survive, you need to do that, but it doesn't really matter, right? Still had many indications left. Okay, going second this time. The Ash getting me there as well. With Card of the Mice, that hurts. And Swap, so it's not looking too good. But the advantage though is the Eldritch package also is very similar to Paleo in some way, as it keeps snowballing into more advantage, right? Magician Souls gets to go through, and that's, I guess, the advantage of playing against an older deck. Less imperms, less failures, This is definitely a solid play, preventing the Eldritch deck from getting out a Synchro or, getting out Helki and putting a Synchro face down. The problem, though, of Paleo is that you don't want to give them the opportunity to play, as in to snowball into more Paleos. And the problem here is that I have a lot of traps set. I guess they have two options, to go for Toad or Opabinia. I guess Toad, if it wasn't for display, like in hindsight, you should probably negate or prevent Eldritch from getting out, or from hitting the field, because now you're always losing the. I'm not so sure if it was public information, this set. What is it, the Conquistador, the one that pops? That's one of my few outs to get rid of Toad, right? And not. As soon as you let your opponent use Totally Awesome, as in special summon a dupe from the deck, then it's probably over for you, not the Paleo player. Because that's far too much advantage they will be getting, and especially protection as well because of Dupe Frog. And the Crow. Again, you're just not giving Paleo a break, as in not giving them an opportunity to chain their Paleos in graveyard. As long as I have that opportunity, they're not going to win this one. So that's the first Paleo level 2 hitting the field. They're, blocking themselves with Reckless Greed, so I guess it was needed. But again, they needed Swap or any non-summonable level 2, and then they probably would have been back in the game, right? Like Opabinia and so on. We draw another Ash, could be important. Let's see, we can go for some burn damage, potentially. Okay, the strike is fine though. We go for Chat Synchron and, Herald. Herald, I guess, it does hurt. Omni-negation, and they aren't main decking that many traps, monsters that can attack over the Herald. And of course they're under Reckless Greed, and the Forbidden Apocrypha, I believe that's the name. What does it do? Like, flip it over, and then as soon as a player or your opponent controls 2 monsters or more of the same type, Synchro, Exceed, or whatever, all of those monsters of that monster type will be sent to the graveyard, something like that. Game number 3, like that board is kind of solid. If I would like destroy the Dupe Frog as well to give them the Swap Frog and so on, but evenly matched. That was a card that was not available back in 2017, but the Card of the Mice on top of the deck still keeps them in a duel. So end phase, I guess this was an okay-ish play. Prevent them. It was the fresh set card as well, right? We're popping the face down, basically putting an Eldritch in graveyard, and I guess keep the pressure going, not giving Paleo the opportunity to set up. So let's see, are we able to dodge the Paleo traps? So that's one Paleo in graveyard, the Mirror Force, Eldritch, the right one I believe is protected, right? And yeah, we're able to chain block, yeah. So that's, even though I'm not so sure if I really needed to, because again, my Eldritch is protected, but they thought they cross. Ah man, and I have my Crow again, so I think I'm only making one Crow, I think. That's kind of sick. Again, you just can't give them an opportunity to, give them 1 or 2 level 2s. If you do so, you're a goner, and they just can't get a break. So banish Sanguine to search, what is it? The banish one. You know which one I mean. Compulse, that's fine though, because they're on a clock. Yeah, we're not able to chain block, so they'll be getting a Paleo on field. And this is fine though, again. As long as the Paleos don't survive, they have Swap Frog in hand for another rank 2 Exceed play. Opabinia would not make sense, though definitely makes sense to go for Dupe. But again, very similar, right? Oh, no, it does trigger now. Yeah, we are chaining Imperm. I probably should have, whatchamacallit, used Imperm preemptively, then they would not have triggered or been able to go for Dupe Frog, right? Now that I think of it, so you give them 2 Blast Winds, but I think all of the back row are useless, or at least we don't know the what was it, Dynamiscus. I mean, yeah, I think I had to, right, because of those Last Winds as well. That was my only play left: burn damage and potentially attack. Anyway, so yeah, next one, Group B, Synchro Fusionist, Sick Deck, Triple Omega versus Windups, Shocklock. So feel free to leave your predictions. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.
Where do Jolly Ranchers get their huge fruit flavor?
That one's gonna make a lot of gummies.
Dang, he's good.
Jolly Rancher gummies made with huge fruit flavor.
Let's go! Your jumper is broken! Marco's better than yours!
Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back next match, Cross Banlist Cup. So, bottom part for the first time. We have, I think, already a title candidate being Yubel Fiendsmith, or Fiendsmith Yubel, whatever, right? It's one of the more recent decks in this year's Cross Banlist Cup. It's going to take on a deck that already has been featured, although the build is a little bit different compared to, I guess, a couple of years ago. So Lyrisk Tri-Brigade, or Bird Up, as the deck is, was being called by the community. So the main goal of this particular deck is, of course, to exceed up into the, the utopic future, negating monster effects, and then go full ham on your bird combos to go for the Link 3 Simorgh, and of course sit behind the Wind Barrier statue. While on the other hand, we have Yubel Fiendsmith, or Fiendsmith Yubel, again, one of the more recent decks. The title contender, do I need to say more? It does so much. I believe it does suffer a little bit in consistency, making a couple of bricks, but I mean it makes so many hand traps, and it especially when going first, there are so many even 1-card combos that lead to ridiculous board that I could definitely agree with the people that Yubel Fiendsmith should have the advantage here, but. As I've read multiple times, I mean, the deck goes first, probably wins the match. That could definitely be the case here. So we'll see how this, one is being played out. Because this deck has access to the Wind Barrier statue. So we can play through a potential Nip. We cannot play through, Nip Imperm, obviously. So now, you go for the Utopic Future, I believe, negating monster effects. Then go for the Link 3, was able to search out the Wind Barrier statue. And as you know, like any monster that should be any monster, where the Simorgh Link 3 is pointing towards those monsters cannot be targeted by card effects. So that Imperm is useless, the Simorgh itself cannot be targeted by the Imperm, so the only card is Utopic, but that doesn't matter, because the thing here is that, again Nip, but you have the Utopic for that one. We still at our normal summon, we still at our normal summon, guys, for the Wind Barrier statue. And the problem of Yubel, or that particular list, or I mean most lists, sure, the Wind Barrier statue was an MVP card in Fluenderies as well. It was banned, was banned for a good reason. And as we are seeing in the deck list, like how many outs does Yubel Fiendsmith have to an on-field Wind Barrier statue? I don't think there's that many, especially when protected by the Simorgh Link. The problem now is going second, and that's what I was talking about. Is imagine Yubel going first in game number 1. The match could have been like much more different, as in much bigger in favor of Yubel, because again they can play through multiple hand traps, multiple 1-card combos, they can sit behind their own hand traps, and so on. So I guess this is basically standard Yubel combo. I guess the Imperm prevent the Varudras, I believe the name is, the Omni-Negation Baron Exceed, the rank 10 one. I guess it prevents it from coming out, because it kind of made them forced to go for the Muckracker first, but it just doesn't matter. You can go for Moon for a second time. That gives you the third Link, Light Fiend in the graveyard for, Desiree eventually. They can still go for the Abomination? Soul of Rage, the Link 2, for, how can you say it? Use one of your opponent's monster for the Link Summon and then go for Little Knight for another interruption. The Yubel for monster negation, and yeah, no Apo though. So this going second hand is, that's nice. We already had a monster negation forced out. We have Talents to force out Desiree. We have Lightning Storm to hit the back row. But the problem here is that there is still far too many interruptions left. So the Almirage is fine, because we could still potentially tribute itself to empty our field, you know, for the potential Lurlisk play. But this was a good play. Little Knight for my only bird target in the graveyard. And that's game. That's game. What is it? There is one bird that needs an empty field, while the other bird, the one that I had in hand, doesn't need an empty field, right? That's most of the time your last bird that you will be activating and then reborning one of your smaller birds to go for a rank 1. So anyway, I could see the failure. We are somewhat behind, so 2 hand traps already, but I guess we can recover. Surge the one that, you know, we are ending on, and I believe lock ourselves into Exceed Summons for the rest of the entire turn. So we go for Simorgh, and probably the... okay, for Surge, what are we... oh, we can still extend. Yeah, but I think we are locked, right? So this... oh yeah, that's right. This particular... I mean, as you know, Bird Up can cite the Harpy's Feather Storm. Basically a skill drain on crack. It doesn't matter. Again, as soon as you activate it, your opponent cannot activate any monster effects for the rest of the entire turn. And that counts in hand, grave, sick card. The one downside is that this deck is not able to use it from hand, because you need, what is it, a Harpy monster on the field. You know, decks could have played like the Link Harpy, but you know what I mean. And I didn't even need the trap, right? I mean, the Windbearer statue is all I need. But again, yeah, now we are locked into wind types. But look at this. So we get another Spell Search. We already used that. It's not this replay. It's the other one. Yeah. So we go for I forgot its name. It's the Bouncer, right? And, you know, due to the Lurlisk monsters, what is it? It cannot be targeted, right? It gains attack boost, and whenever your opponent special summons a monster, you can detach to bounce back that monster. Sick card. Especially when you can protect the Wind Barrier statue. That card is so broken. Oh man, that card is so broken. I believe it got banned early 2023. I checked that. Yeah, for the TCG. Anyway, so going second again. And going second, very similar hand going first. Again, Talents, Desires, that's already good, you know, force out those interruptions and potential draws. So we'll see. The problem now is that I have 0 hand trips, so they can basically go for full combo. What is full combo like? What is it? DDD1 for monster effect negations or summoning negations. What is it? The Link 2 for Unchained, Yubel Fusion, Apo? Can they go for Apo? That might be the case. Oh no, the deck is not playing Apo. No, deck's not playing Apologies. Yeah, Desiree, obviously. Like, this board is so sick. So sick. Especially, you know, when they still have hand traps. The Unchained Engine is searching the trap for potential follow-up play. So we'll see, right? Link 2 hits the field for Little Knight play. Verudras, again, is the board as well for another Omni-Negation plus potential pop. Omni-Negation, Ash in hand. What can we do? What can any deck do? Let's face it. So yeah, the Cyclone didn't really... Well, I guess I could have Cycloned... yeah, the Link 2 to potentially, you know, prevent the... Desiree from more negations. But I don't think it mattered because of Caesar. So try to go for the monster effect. Yeah, Caesar is getting, uses effects. We can go for, Bird doesn't have an effect. Nerval is useless. So game number 5, a 5-gamer, we get Ashed. We have Avian. But major now is that the edge is gone, but we get Drolled. Obviously, you see it, we're getting Drolled, which I think now, this is summon number 4, I think? Should be. So we're not playing into Nip. And we go for Wind Barrier statue. We are far behind in terms of card advantage. But it doesn't matter, because they cannot get rid of the Wind Barrier statue. Yes. Imperm is not an out. And if I remember the deck list correctly, it's only Imperm. And even then, with the Simorgh link, it's protected. And we can go for Apo, because Apo is a wind. And we have the Harpy's Feather Storm. So sick. This deck is definitely an underdog. You know, might struggle with consistency issues, but the thing is that you're making all of them at 3, the Literalisk ones, and the Tri-Brigade engine leads to Omen, Omen leads to another Surge, plus Interruption, so it definitely has potential. And with that Wind Barrier statue, it's kinda sick. Really, really sick. So, yup, not an out. Yeps, this is game. This is nice. Yeah. I mean, before this matchup, again, like, if Yubel would have went first, I think Yubel had this one. Like, no way going second against all of those negations, that this particular decklist 2022 would plow through that. Like, no way. But it is what it is. Okay, so the next one, feel free to leave your predictions, community tab, the votes should be up. So Synchro Eldritch versus 60 cards Paleozoic, Josh's list, what was it from YCS Prague 2017? Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, feel free to leave a comment, like. If you enjoyed the video, Lithium signing out. Peace.
McCormick knows unbeatable flavor. So we created Flavor Sealed, so spices are as fresh and flavorful as the day they were packed. Letting you make meals that'll have everyone licking their chops. McCormick, Flavor Sealed for unbeatable flavor.
Cut! That's better.
Let me get some of that. Kiehl's Better Screen SPF 50 with collagen peptide. You use this every day?
Every day.
Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back. Next match, cross Banlist. So second match, Group A. We saw in the previous episode that, Burning Abyss took it from Dragon Rulers kinda close. Clutch game 5. With Sidek, right? So post Sidek, I guess it was in favor of Burning Abyss a little bit. So the next matchup, second match here in Group A, we have Fishborg Frog. So Edison format is definitely, represented here in the Cross Banlist Cup. This year it's going to take on good old favorite Dark Arm Dragon, Dead Return, before, I guess, the emergency list of, when was that, 2008-ish. Well, was it 17 years ago? I think so. So which deck has the advantage? It's relatively close. Community tab voting should be up for the next video as well. So I could definitely agree. Like in favor of, at least in case of Dead Return, there are some dead bricks like Malicious Dasher, Jinzo, unless of course you have the perfect draw hand with Allure, with Destiny Draw. But I think consistency wise, I feel that Dead Return is a little bit less consistent compared to Frogs, right? Fishborg Frogs. Featuring Substitute and stuff like that. It's a nifty version, featuring Dandelion. It's a hard deck to pilot. I mean, some iffy interactions. So anyway, slow start. The Crush card pre-errata by the way, but it's not that great against Fishborg Frog. So what does it do? Fishborg Frogs is kind of straightforward. It could be a slow deck sitting on Dupe Frog, for example, and just setting one monster right, like Treeborn Frog. But as soon as you have access to Substitute, that's where things get nasty. The thing is that they, without, let's say, 1-for-1 Foolish or whatever, the deck's not really able to get to Fishborg. Fishborg is important for, the tuner engine as a tuner, for the synchros. And the reason why this Fishborg Frog deck is so deadly, especially in Edison format, is that it uses the Armory Arm Colossal Fighter OTK with the greatest of ease, right? As soon as your opponent has a strong monster on their field, just make Army Arm, equip it to your opponent's monster, and then make Colossal Fighter, and then attack every time into that monster, right? A Colossal Fighter will get destroyed, your opponent will get the burn damage due to Armory Arm. And I think that's not possible anymore because of the errata years ago. But this deck, if your opponent does, put up a big attack boss monster, or at least a big attack monster, which is, super easy in Edison format, and decks aren't already making that many traps or back row or disruption, lack of hand traps, etc. So it's relatively, easy for this deck to OTK. And speaking of an OTK, if the deck is not able to, pump out big stuff, it can just end on double Dupe Frog, which again is super threatening in that particular format. It's hard to get rid of, brain control, chaos, stuff like that. Again, iffy hand, an early, what was it, Return from a Different Dimension? But again, it didn't give me the necessary answers. I could have said Scapegoat. The problem is that Scapegoat might clock my field. Only Plasma to get rid of it, and your opponent can just say, nope, we don't need to attack. But on the other hand, the deck is freely able to go for, as you see here on screen, Red Dragon Archfiend. So it didn't really matter. At least it would not have mattered. And here the Armory Arm wasn't really needed, I guess. Yeah, because of the return from a different dimension. I mean, even without return, this would have been game, right? Just get out a couple of dupe frogs. And this was an interaction I just forgot, probably, is that, and that's why Dandelion is there. You can tribute the tokens from Dandelion because of due to Substitute. I always thought Substitute needed to tribute a water type or something. Anyway, so this is much better. A couple of draws, Disc Commander for, that draw. Premature Burial, Monster Reborn, but making sure that, if it's like a deck, at least if you know that your opponent is playing Monster Reborn, it's iffy to leave your Demok, Dark Magician of Chaos, or Disc Commander in graveyard. So again, nifty interaction. The Torrential got them off guard. The triple pot of Avarice might be awkward, but, with Substitute, it's basically almost instantly live. Anyway, so, what is it? I forgot the name. It is the one that hits the back row. Now we are going for Scapegoat because we have Cyber Valley. I guess for this particular deck, 2008, should be Jerry Wang's build. If you're an old school OG player, you definitely know Jerry Wang. Won a couple of Shonen Jumps, piloting nifty techs in his decks. And one example in that return was indeed Cyber Valley. Brain controlling your opponent's monster, banishing to banish itself to draw 2, or stack the top card of your deck, etc. Right? With Cyber Valley. So we go for Plasma, and this should be almost should be instantly game against the deck. Finally, get the engine going, but those Dark Arms always being stuck in my hand. So no monster effects, and they're not able to draw into an out. We could go for return, 3 return, right? I think, what was it, the emergency list got Dimension Fusion banned and returned to 1, I think. Because it was the weekend or 2 weekends before our Nationals back in 2008. I remember that one. So drop both, that's nice. We can pop and finally attack for game. Okay, so it's not, game just yet. And this is one of the cards that definitely, boost the consistency of the Fishborg Frog deck, 3 Mirror of Greed. I guess, increase the consistency of drawing Substitute plus Swap. Even though there's no Ronin Totem, the deck can just do shenanigans. And, yes, the thing is that with Fishborg Frogs in its respective format, 2010, the deck can just end on, let's say, set Treeborn or set Dupe and pass. It's very hard, to OTK, maybe Blackwings. But here in this case, that can definitely, do a big push. So I guess, yeah, you definitely want to end on double Dupe Frog for, not getting OTK'd. So we go for Scapegoat again, we have Valley, we have Ryza, even though, the Goat Dog is going to be treated. The problem is that are they able to deal with my field? They can, this is, well, I'm not going to lie, this is kind of iffy. Double Dupe, so now with, because the double Dupe is face up on the field, I cannot attack with Flip-Flop, what is the Flip-Flop Frog? Bouncing back your opponent's monsters, Death Frog and Substitute for extra protection. Not going to lie, that was kind of iffy. Again, I was forced to use my normal summon for Stratos, and Stratos into Plasma was one of my few outs for this particular board. So now, again, Child's Play, the Monster Reborn is a sick top deck. For Disc Commander. Pot of Greed, yes. But we draw 2 bricks, I was like, come on, like my hands. So they get stuff back, the Swap Frog. I mean, Plasma is still on field. Like, what are the options? Back row, I guess. Yeah, what is it? Dimensional Prison, Mirror Force, Torrential are all cards. I think that deck is side decking. I think so. They keep Heavy Storm, yeah, kind of makes sense. So again, slowly playing the game. They can deck swap, that's fine. We can go for Valley, stack the top card or draw 2. Draw 2. We draw Wing Blast, that's perfect. But the problem, okay, yeah, they could Heavy Storm, but they can, then Plasma can use its effect. So you need to stall it out a little bit. But we should be able to make a push. Go for Malicious first, D-draw for 2, and then tribute for Jinzo. Right. Yeah, potential Dimensional Prison or whatever, but it's Reckless Greed. So 2-2, nice comeback. Okay, so we'll see. Oof, that hand is stacked. Brain Control, Pre-Errata, and double Reckless Greed. Like, this was what I was talking about. Like, just setting 2. We see it's Reckless, but like a good hand, a good dead return hand, could probably make a big push. but that needs a solid hand, and wasn't able to do that. So Transmigration Prophecy, it's a weaker DD Crow basically, up to 2, send it back to the deck. But yeah, I mean, that deck is, at least that hand is super stacked, especially because of double Reckless Greed. Draw 4, you definitely have all the key cards by then. So this 1-for-1 Dandy, you know, the tokens from Dandelion can be tributed off of Substitute, so they can basically just spam the board. Let's say Armory Arm, the Colossal Fighter OTK doesn't work, I think, yeah. Because Stratos with the Armory Arm equipped are attached will have 2800, and unless his Colossal Fighter gets an attack boost, that will just be a suicide crash. But I mean that I can, you know, just pump out big beatsticks, right? And this is also pre-Rata Brionek that can use its effect multiple times during the same turn. So multiple Goyos, I guess. Yeah, another Goyo, Brain Control, alright, and you can tribute Stratos. Yeah, I mean, it felt relatively close, but consistency-wise, like, I felt that here now, again, this matchup, I felt that Fishborg Frogs was a bit consistent, more consistent compared to that return. But yeah, like, first group, relatively close. Next matchup, Yubel Fiendsmith versus Lilith's Tri-Brigade. So bird up, and keep in mind, as you saw in the list in the community tab for votes, the Tri-Brigade deck, Lilith's deck, is running the Wind Barrier statue. Okay, so feel free to leave your predictions. Okay guys, that's it, thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out.
Febreze Plug stays first day fresh for 50 days and comes in over 30 delightful scents.
Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. Next match, Cross Banlist Cup. So first match actually. So after the pilot episode from a couple of weeks ago, you know, all decks have been revealed, were revealed yesterday, or at least last week. And the first matchup we have, or at least we are at Group A. So we have Burning Abyss, an updated decklist 2016. It's going to take on Dragon Ruler's decklist from 2013, you know, but again, post-ban. So the first decklist we have Burning Abyss. Well, PK Fire with, I guess, the strongest card, or at least one of the strongest cards, being Beatrice at 3, right? With Dante, with Seer at 2, if I'm not mistaken. Grafas at 1, same for Tour Guide. All post the ban list, but it's a ridiculous deck. This should be a known deck. We have first place YCS London, I think, 2013. Patrick Reader's list featuring, I guess, you know, post-ban list, you know, post-Super Rejuvenation, the baby rulers, the babies getting banned, and so on. So the most annoying combos of the deck featured Ancient Fairy Dragon, whatchamacallit, the Breed Dragon, etc. And of course, Dragon's Ravine to, you know, pivot into more copies thanks to Ancient Fairy Dragon. So no votes just yet. After this episode, the first votes will be open for the next matchup. Anyway, before this matchup, which deck would have had the advantage? Or would have the advantage? In all honesty, I would have had no clue. Like, the thing here with Burning Abyss, it has been a while, it has been years last that, you know, Burning Abyss entered the Cross Banlist Cup. You might think that it's behind, you know, Dante, Mil 3, Pass, stuff like that, and Beatrice. But it's actually a kind of a sick deck, even though it's relatively slow. The fact that you have to, it's hard for older decks to clear Beatrice, and Beatrice, you know, pivots into other Burning Abyss cards, you know, Burning Abyss monsters from the extra deck for free. That makes it pretty broken. Of course, even nowadays. The thing with this deck, with this particular ruler deck, it's more of a trap heavy deck. So definitely going for Stardust, you know, protecting, what is it, Wing Blast, Solemns, etc. It's definitely the play to go. And here Trapstun, I think, what is it, 3 Fog Blades, and I think 1 Vanity's Emptiness as well. And that was basically it, right, for traps, looking at the Burning Abyss deck. Okay, so BA going.
Get more for your business with Microsoft 365. Stay connected with customers and securely share files.
That was basically it, right, for traps, looking at the Burning Abyss deck. Okay, so BA going first, only having 5 cards, and the way how, you know, maybe you've never seen BA or whatever, it's basically go for multiple Dante and mill. Not so sure if you really want to mill all 3 at all times. Again, resources are important, but the most notorious combo for this particular deck is Dante Seer. You know, whenever his Dante is sent to the graveyard, let's say detached from Beatrice, you can get back a Burning Abyss to the hand, so that, you know, you can get back Seer, one in hand, and when Seer is sent to the graveyard, you can reborn the same Dante, etc. Right? go for Beatrice. So you know, at least you see where these kind of loops are going towards. Star Eater is but this Twin Twister made it so that they're just able to attack for a game next turn. Even though I do get Star Eater back, they have, at least they're going to mill 3. The problem though is again, Star Eater, there's multiple ways for Burning Abyss to get rid of a stronger beat stick. As you saw, like Burning Abyss doesn't score, I feel, doesn't score that well on attack. But stuff like Farfa and the Phantom Knight engine for Braid Sword into the Rebellion, that could deal with higher attack monsters. So okay, Ruler's going first again. If Ruler is able to start with Ravine, Dragon's Ravine, the field spell, or 7-star sword, they will get a nice advantage. And I side-decked in, what is it, Debunk? I think it's Debunk. What is it? Whenever an opponent's monster activates in hand or graveyard, negate the activation and banish the card. So against Burning Abyss, that's fantastic. Yeah, Debunk. 6 cents. There's multiple ways to play 6 cents. Most people, I think, would call 5 or 6, but this is Rulers, and I tend to call 3 and 4. Like, kind of maximizing the potential profit, as in, 3 or 4. If you roll the dice and you roll 3 or 4, you get to draw that many cards, equal to the amount you called. But if you roll 5 or 6, you get to mill that amount. So, basically rolling 1 or 2 is worse, right? But I get, why people would just call 5 or 6, right? Maximizing value. Anyway, so again, sitting on Stardust, I think again that's this deck's boss monster against a deck like Burning Abyss. Especially looking at this stuff like Twin Twister, protecting our back row, protecting Ravine to set up those Rulers in the graveyard. And here, what was negated? Graph or Seer? I missed it. Anyway, 7-star sword for a couple of draws. We draw Ravine. That's a small bummer. Trigon. Trigon was a nifty tag back then. Searchable of the one here in the graveyard, right? Level 3 dragon. Basically a non-tuner because of this. It was searchable off of Blaster and, like searching with Ravine or searching for Blaster. Discard it for Ravine to set it up in the graveyard. And I don't think... no spoilers. But... I mean, it was known for this particular deck, like Debris Dragon into Trigon, into Ancient Fairy Dragon, pop field spell, search another field spell, discard, etc. Multiple rank 7s, double Dracossack play and so on, or Dracossack Synchrooper. Anyway, and that's, I guess, an advantage of this particular deck against Big Wall Beatrice. It does have, like, main deck options to get rid of the Beatrice. Big Eye is one of them. Dracossack is not, but Big Eye is definitely an option. So anyway, this looks not good. This is definitely a solid opening for BA, and Skarm searching Seer. Okay, no Tour Guide, or Tour Guide was used probably. And a spell could have been a problem. I mean, the deck is somewhat spell heavy, 7-star sword, etc. And the only hand trap I think we need to fear is Maxi? Failure maybe, but I mean Failure. Yeah, awkward banishing those Rulers, not getting that much advantage out of it. We do have return, so I need a big return, going off to still have a chance here in this duel, because, Burning Abyss will just mill and potentially force out back row, bounce back row, or, force back row with the PK engine, Break Sword, and so on. So they want to crash into Blaster. We are wing blasting that, and the thing is that Beatrice is not a Burning Abyss monster, so by adding in...
I can't believe you spent $2 million on... Hey, are you even paying attention to me?
One sec, I'm finishing up this field research quest.
Are you playing Pokemon?
So by adding in the PK engine, it gives you more options, a higher ceiling, I guess, but at the same time you're running a lot of non-Burning Abyss monsters, and like today Burning Abyss is Cherubini to shut down or prevent most Burning Abyss from seldom destroying, right, as soon as you have another name on field, or a monster that's not a Burning Abyss, right, looking at Beatrice. I mean, okay, Farfa can banish Beatrice, but you know what I mean. So I needed that return, and is there Seer? Oh, Seer Reborn Farfa, I think. Yeah. That's the play. Yips. Banish title. I think all titles are gone. So set Wing Loss, which is not live. So we are going into the 5 gamer. Game number 5. And again, as somewhat expected. And you know, this is what I was talking about. Burning Abyss seems like a very slow deck at first, but I mean, them opening with Dante, Beatrice, set 1, you know, very slowish. They'll just rank up advantage, grind advantage, Scarm, Door Guide, multiple Beatrice, Foolish for Farfa, prevent you from playing, and then extend or potential OTK like here during next turn. So again, super iffy, right? Okay, so game number 5, let's see. This is an okay start. We mill, but we need to sacrifice a dragon, and we can max seed, and that's a problem. Basically, pot of greed for them. So again, I think the play was to go need Stardust, but again, them having some extra draws definitely gives them more names for Burning Abyss. We need to preemptively use Ring Blast. Again, we don't want to risk more BA mills. Again, them forcing. Here I was hoping that there was no name again after the Farfa reveal, but there was. Which could be okay still, you know, they're crashing into Stardust, but they do, you know, like hit the wall of Graph, which definitely helps them. I mean, okay, apologies, they could have, what is it, Sincere Reborn Dante? No, there's always a name, yeah, they're always able, or would have been able to go for Beatrice. But depending on which monsters were attached to Beatrice, that's important. And the Breed Dragon is not that great of a top deck. No. The Emptiness. No, the Breed Dragon was a sick top deck. Yeah. Here, my plan was to banish Blaster, you know, search Trigon, use Ravine, discard Trigon, go for, I don't know, Tempest probably, or Tidal, and then go for, you know, the Breed Dragon, Ancient Fairy Dragon, etc. You know, basically this deck's full combo and strongest combo. But Vanity's Emptiness is broken, yups. And the thing, yeah, the deck is making so many cards to shut down your own Emptiness, and now, are you able to attack for a game? Yeah, probably. Yeah, definitely right. Like Dante Mill 3, they still have... No, normal summon was used, but okay, PK Engine, Fogblade, Boots, Special Summoning itself, and eventually you're probably going for Phantom Knight, yups. So yeah, Burning Abyss has this. Game number 5, Maxi, Vanity's Emptiness. Yeah, a little bit awkward. I mean, it is what it is. The cards are banned for a good reason. You know, we know why. But I think, I say it a lot, but I think we have a well-deserved winner, even though it again kind of felt a little bit awkward, right? With those broken cards. So next matchup, we have Fishborg from Frogs indeed. So